Good morning, everyone. We are group number two. Our group numbers are Diago, Karthik, Sai Shubhareddy, Vinita, myself, and Vineet Reddy. We are going to start the presentation. So, welcome to our presentation on team dynamics using the lens of the film Moneyball. We have chosen Moneyball to do the team analysis. We've analyzed the Oakland A's baseball management team, focusing especially on Beanie Bean and Peter Brand. Their use of data analytics transformed not just a team but the entire sport itself. In the next few slides, we'll explore 8 major aspects of team dynamics from trust and inclusion to conflict management, and how this team grew to break records with limited resources. The Oakland A's team clearly demonstrated the 6 essential team behaviors. First, we actually get to see that they had very clear goals, building a competitive team despite a limited budget. Secondly, there was open communication between all the team members, especially between the Billy and Peter. Third, trust development over time, as Billy began relying on Peter's analytical models. Fourth, they embraced constructive conflict, particularly with scouts who disagreed with the new methods initially. Fifth, they began showing shared responsibility, especially as Peter started making the player calls. And sixth, there was accountability. Every team member had a role and was expected to contribute.
Inclusive team behaviors. Despite being unconventional, Billy created an inclusive team environment. He hired Peter Brandt, a young and experienced analyst from Yale, someone who wouldn't normally be accepted by traditional scouts. Instead of valuing seniority or physical traits, they valued ideas. The team became a space where logic and performance data matter more than appearance or reputation. That inclusion allowed new perspectives to thrive. Forming, storming, norming, reforming, and performing. The team's development followed Tuxman's model. Forming happened when Billy brought in Peter. Storming followed with heated conflicts with old school scouts. In the norming stage, they began to align behind Peter's player recommendations. Reforming happened mid-season when they adapted to performance feedback. And finally, performance was achieved. The team broke a league record with 20 straight wins.
Hello, Professor. I am Vinit and I'll be continuing from slide 5 Organizational Culture and Diversity. The story also highlights a deep shift in organizational culture. The traditional culture of baseball relied heavily on intuition, experience, and superficial traits. Things like how a player looked or how confident he sounded. But the Oakland A's, under Billy's leadership, moved toward a new culture rooted in logic, objectivity, and performance metrics. This shift introduced diversity in thought, where different perspectives, particularly Peter's analytical mindset, were not only welcomed but became the backbone of decision making. Changing an organization's culture is never easy, but this transformation shows how leadership can build a culture that embraces innovation and adapts to new challenges. Yeah, so coming to the next slide, personality types. Team dynamics are also shaped by personality types. Billy Bean is portrayed as bold, impatient, and instinct driven. He is a natural risk taker who pushes boundaries. Peter Brand is his opposite, quite highly analytical and careful. Then there are scouts. Most are emotional, traditional, and skeptical of change. These clashing personalities created tension, especially in early stages. But interestingly, that tension helped fuel innovation. The contrast between Peter's logic and Billy's gut feeling formed a balanced decision making style. This shows that successful teams don't need identical personalities, they need diversity as long as there is shared purpose and mutual respect.
Yeah, hey, this is Karthik Gakala, and going forward, I'm going to explain you about the conflict management styles. Now, let's talk about something regarding the conflict management. In this story, we have like three different types of conflict styles. whereas the Bill, who uses a competitive approach, decis- he is decisive, confrontational, and not afraid to override others to get the things done. Whereas for Peter, on the other hand, uses a collaborative style where he patiently explains his reasoning through data and tries to win people over with his logics. Meanwhile, the Scots demonstrate an avoidant or defensive style. They restrict change but don't engage deeply in discussion. This mix of style created a fraction but also made the team stronger. It shows that well managed conflict, even when uncontrollable, is necessary for the growth and innovation. Thank you. Now, moving on to the next slide, the Oakland Ace management team faced a lot of internal resistance when the first day introduced their data-driven model. The conflict was immediate and intense, especially between Billy Bean and the team's tradition scouts. These scouts have been selecting players based on gut feeling, physical appearance, and reputation. Now they were being asked to rely on spreadsheets and probabilities, something that threatened their experience and identity. But this conflict wasn't just disruptive, it was necessary. It forced the team to question old methods and making room for better ones. Instead of avoiding conflict, Billy and Peter leaned into it. By their convictions, even if it meant pushing people from out of their own comfort zone. Over time, through the shared challenges and small wins, synergy began to form, especially between Billy and Peter. Their different strengths complemented each other. Billy was bold and decisive, while Peter was quiet, analytic, and strategic. Together, they became a team that balanced intuition and analysis, emotion and logic. And as their approach started to work, even some small skeptics began to align. This shows us the key takeaway: security doesn't happen instantly, it's often born from a healthy, well managed conflict. The important thing is that the team had a shared goal, winning, and that helped team disagreement into innovation. In the end, the synchrony between data and the experience made Oakland's a stronger but not weaker.
Hello, myself Saishwar Reddy Nanjala. Here I am going to explain the key elements of the team performance. When the evaluating of the Oakland A's using the key elements of high team performance, it's clearly they were successful not because of luck, but because of structure, clarity, and trust. First, they had a crystal clear vision to win baseball games with the lowest budget in the league. This vision guided every decision. Second, they had well defined roles. Billy Bean was the strategic leader, Peter Brand Peter Brand was the data analyst, driving player decisions, and each team member from scout to players their lane. Third, their processes were innovative. Instead of traditional scouting, they relied on subanalytics, evaluating player based on the overlooked performance metric like on base percentage. They also were not afraid of iterate and adjust as the session progressed. And finally, the team developed deep trust. Billy trust Peter members. Peter trust Billy's bold decisions. Together, that mutual trust allowed them to push boundaries. These elements, vision, roles, process, and trust, are constant of high performance team, and Oakland A's demonstrate all of them under pressure. And finally, conclusion. In the conclusion, Moneyball is much more than a sportsman story. It's like lesson of leadership, teamwork, and innovation. The Oakland A's didn't have the biggest budget, but they had the right mindset and dynamic. They embraced inclusion, encouraged data-driven thinking, and were not afraid of conflict if it meant making better decisions. This case reminds us that even in the face of resistance, a committed and adaptive team can outperform exceptions if they work together with the clarity, respect, and trust. Thank you so much for watching for our presentation. And here are the references we used in the presentation.